We are back to basics today with a full body workout. All you're needing is a mat. Let's do this. Alrighty, so today we've got a full body workout. We're getting right back to basics. So this one is perfect if you're just restarting your fitness routine after you've hit a plateau, just getting back to exercise, or just starting out. So we're gonna go through a full warm up, full body workout, and then a cool down and a quick recap. Make sure you guys are staying on track, not just doing the workouts, but looking after yourself outside of your exercise as well. So we've got 3 exercises to warm up with, each for 30 seconds. We're gonna open up through the whole body. Okay, first one, we're taking a nice wide stance, opposite hand to opposite foot. Just a cross body toe touch, opening up through the hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. Now with this one, make sure you posture right up, open up through the core and hip flexors, give those hamstrings a chance to load and unload. Each time you come up, you should be breathing out. Breathing in on the way down, breathing out. Breathing in on the way down, breathing out. Nice. Next one, you guys can stand where you are, but just so I fit in the frame, you're gonna walk out into an inchworm, again stretching out through the hamstrings and through the calves, trying to get those hands and feet as close together as possible, standing right up and then walking out again. Okay, come down to a plank position, keeping a nice straight back, and then come back up, standing nice and tall again. Of course, don't forget to breathe with each rep here. The next one, we're going to drop straight into a runner's lunge. So staying in your end position of the inchworm, one foot comes up high, and you're going to let that hip drop down towards the floor. Bring that foot up as high as you can, keep that foot flat to the floor, and let that hip drop down towards the floor. You should be feeling a stretch in the hamstring and in the back hip as well. So through here, and I'm just alternating from side to side. Okay, that's our first round of warm up. We're gonna come back up and do exactly the same thing. If you're feeling a bit more warm this second time round, go a bit wider in the feet, really open up through the inside of the thighs, the inside of the hamstrings, and if you can speed this up a little bit as well. Start to get your heart rate up, get your body nice and warm, so we don't get any injuries. We don't want that. All right, then after this, we're gonna drop straight into our inchworm. Okay, just so you guys can see me in the frame, stretching out through those calves and hamstrings. Good, standing right up. If you feel this is pretty easy, and you feel you can really increase that stretch in your hamstrings, you can cut out the standing up. Just come straight back in and straight back out. This is a good one to also warm up the shoulders, but you want to make sure you don't cheat. So right to the end in the plank position, none of this upward dog stuff. Keep nice and straight, keep the core switched on, stretch through the hamstrings. And then finally, we're gonna come up into our runner's lunge. One foot comes up high, alternating from side to side. This is the last of our warm up, and then we're gonna go straight away into our workout. So with this, we want no rest. The whole thing about flow workouts is we move straight from one exercise to the other. So it's fast, it's effective, because you're cutting out the rest, but we're working the right muscle groups so you don't get injured. All right, so now you should be all nice and warmed up. Glutes, hamstrings, cores are all switched on. You're gonna wanna switch that timer to 45 seconds or just keep it running, and every 45 seconds, we swap to the next exercise. All right, first one we've got is just regular bodyweight squats. With this, you can have your hands wherever you feel comfortable, totally personal preference, whatever makes you happy. The most important part though is we've got to make sure your knees are staying above the line of your toes. We don't want them to go too far out. We definitely don't want them to go too far in. You should feel the weight majority on the heel of your foot, not on the ball. And you always want to keep a nice straight back. Now, if you do feel like you're getting a strain or pain in your lower back, pop one hand on your lower back and use that as a gauge. Only come as far down as that lower back stays nice and straight. We don't want a round back as you come down. So, bodyweight squats for 45 seconds. The next one we're gonna come up, working through the core. Taking the same stance as your squat, we go opposite knee to opposite elbow, opposite knee to opposite elbow. With this, to really brace and work the core, one little trick you can do is try to avoid too much lateral movement. So you don't want to be going from side to side, like not too much like dancing, right? Keeping this nice and braced, so we're isolating through the core. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. Each time you come in, nice strong breath out. Good, really focusing on your core, making your core work, and squeeze. Good, all right, from here, we're just gonna step back into a reverse lunge. Again, you can pop your hands wherever you feel comfortable. And with this, like the squat, this knee should stay over the line of your toe, and we don't want the knee to go too far forward over the foot for the moment. So you should be about 50-50 on both legs. Taking a nice step back, pushing the knee almost to the floor. Be gentle with that knee, don't bash it too hard on the floor. All right, you wanna have nice knees, not bruised knees, but taking a step back, about 50-50 on each leg, and using both legs to push you up. Good, after this, we're gonna jump into a plank. One of my favorite exercises, but not many other people's favorite exercise. Okay, we're gonna go from your elbows for this one. Now, there's some tricks to this plank, okay? Here, your point of contact are your elbows and your toes. First thing you wanna do is you're gonna squeeze your butt cheeks together, okay? That's easy to remember. Then you're gonna try and squeeze your quads, like you're gonna make your legs really straight. And then you're gonna squeeze your abs. An easy way to do this, imagine you're gonna try to pull your belly button towards your spine. So you're trying to like suck your tummy in almost, okay? And then from here, you're now gonna pull your elbows, without moving them, down towards your toes. Imagine like you're gonna try to crunch yourself up like a banana, and that is a perfect plank. From here, we're gonna step back up, and we're ready for round 2, bodyweight squats. So same deal, hands wherever you feel comfortable. Remember, knees in line with the toes, keeping most of the weight on your heels, like you're gonna, my favorite analogy, people think it's weird, but I don't care, like you're gonna sit on a toilet, yeah? Like Asian squat, okay? Nice straight back, sit on a toilet, stand up, sit on a toilet, stand up. I know it's weird, but everyone gets it. That's your key to good form. Good. All right, after this, we're gonna start working our core. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, next one, opposite knee to opposite elbow. So you guys can stand exactly where you are at the top of your squat. Let's move this around so you guys can see me, see what I'm doing. So really trying to brace through this butt, core, and this whole leg to work on the foot that's down. So remember, not too much. Shift from side to side. I know this one looks funny, looks like something out of like PE with Joe, but it's a really good way to help introduce core work, especially if you haven't used it in a while, without straining the lower back. If you're doing ab exercises and you feel your back working, you can almost guarantee your stomach is not. This one's a really easy way to help take pressure off the glutes and hamstrings and get the core firing. Next one, we're just stepping back into reverse lunges. Remember keeping that knee just a little bit off the floor, and we're driving through the quads, glutes, and hamstrings. So you should feel starting to get warm by now, starting to use your body, and you want to feel all of the leg working. All right, you don't want any knee pain, you don't want to feel just your calves burning, you want to feel the whole thigh all working together. I like reverse lunges for girls because it uses more of the glute and hamstring. So it just helps to build that little bit better shape instead of actual walking lunges, but that's just me. All right, next one we're gonna drop into a plank. From here, straight down, stepping out. So remember that trick from last time. Butt, quads, abs, pull your elbows down, okay? That'll force your core to activate, and it's a much better plank than anything like this. You don't want that. So, bracing through the core, and there's this thing called mind-muscle connection. So you want to think about your abs working. That sounds crazy. Think about your butt working, think about your legs working, think about everything working, and it will actually make it work harder. I know it sounds nuts, and maybe you don't want to work harder, but you're here anyway, and that makes sure we work in the right muscle groups so we don't get injured. And then after this, we're going to go for our last round. All right, back up into your squat position. Again, hands wherever you feel comfortable. And we've got bodyweight squats. Remembering that form and focusing on good technique, especially for this workout. Basic bodyweight movements. It's all about moving well, not just moving a lot. Good, if you find it easy, you can start to increase the pace a little bit. Start to get a bit of a burn in your legs. Make sure at the top, squeeze your butt cheeks together. Get those glutes to work. Make them work. Good, alrighty. Next one is getting that core switched on. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. Opposite knee to opposite elbow. Really focus on staying still with this one. I know it looks like a dance move, and it probably is, but for today, we want to make it an actual exercise. So keep it nice and straight, nice and still, like marching on the spot. Good. Alright, from here, we're going to drop into our reverse lunges. I actually really like this exercise. I think I like it so much because it just takes so much pressure off the knees, but it still works the muscles you really want to work. And one trick is, imagine there's a big button underneath your front foot and you're trying to push the button down each time you stand up. Push the button down and push the button down. That'll really work the glutes and hamstrings. Good. Oh. And then after this is our last exercise for the actual workout. We've got a plank. So drop down. Remember those few little tricky cues? Butt, quads, abs, and elbows. Squeezing all through the core. I know it might be a little bit different and look a little bit different to the plank you're used to, but far more effective. This is what we call an RVC plank. Just making sure we're working all through the core and all through the front of that body. After this, we're going to go straight into our cool down. Alright, we go straight into our cool down. It's like the one we did at the start. We've got a runner's lunge. We're going to bring one foot up nice and high. Let that hip drop down and swap sides. Because this is a cool down, you can probably slow the pace down a little bit. Let your body actually cool down here. Let the muscles stretch and relax into a nice long position. And this will prevent you from getting, too tight and too sore or too injured the next day. Alright, the next one is cobra stretch. So hands by your side. You're going to leave your hips on the floor as much as you can. Take a deep breath in. Come out, come up as far as you can, and then breathe out. So we're going for 30 seconds, but we're working to the pace of your breath. So breathe in, and breathe out. If you can't come all the way up, that's okay. You can pop your hands a bit wider. Breathe in and breathe out. Alright, this last one is probably one of my favorite stretches. You're going to stay in the same position, elbows pointing up, and now you're going to try and kick this foot around to the elbow as far as you can. If you can't touch, which I cannot, that's totally okay. Just come back to the center, and again, just go as far as you can, just around. Oh, my back just cracked. And come back to the center. Again, you're trying to keep the upper body down towards the floor. And back to the center, we come back up, and we go for our runner's lunge. One foot comes up, let those hips drop down. Feel that nice stretch of the hamstring and glute. And also the back of the hip here. That's where you want to feel it. We're alternating from side to side, allowing the pace of your breath to come down and opening up through the muscles you've just worked. Good, and then you come back into the cobra. Again, this is a good one to slow your breath down Deep breath in. And the last one is the scorpion. So keeping those hands where they are and just rolling those legs around from side to side. One important part, you want to try to keep this knee pointing up. That helps to open up the hip flexors, especially if you're sitting down a lot during the day. It's a really good stretch. This will actually help relieve, back pain or tension in your lower back if you have a really sedentary job, sitting down a lot. Nice, and that is beginner's workout done. Very well done, you made it. So this is a really nice one to get you back into the gym, back into exercising, back into moving your body again. Don't forget, check out some of the other workouts that are a little bit more advanced, or you can continue on with this particular program. There's 3 types of workouts in this program, and it goes for a total of 4 weeks. Check it out, repeat these exercises for 4 more weeks, and then you'll be ready to move on to the next one.